Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. My name is Josh and I'm going to be bringing you a pro overanalyze today, looking at, well, some of the games from the Season 2, well, the Stage 2, not Season 2. I always mix those up. I don't know about you guys, but Stage 2 always confuses me. Anyway, Stage 2 Finals. Now, we're going to start off with a look at one of the London Spitfire matches, as you can no doubt tell on the screen, and from the thumbnail, it's, a small hint. You can tell on the screen that, hey, we're going to be looking at King's Row. Why King's Row? Because Spitfire won. No, not because Spitfire won, not because it's like, oh yeah, let's be biased towards Spitfire. In my mind, this was the best game, probably out of the entire night, so that's why I wanted to get started with this one, because I thought it was phenomenally good, and I hope you guys think so as well. Usual caveats apply. If you haven't watched this without me rambling over it, go and watch it. It's on the Overwatch League website. Go over there. Go watch the VOD. It is one hell of a match between Philadelphia Fusion and London Spitfire. Now, the thing I want to focus you guys down on is ultimate management, ultimate usage, because this series and this game really did come down to how did the teams manage their ultimates, what were their plans with those ultimates, and how well did they execute those plans using their ultimates. As the gates open, we'll take a look at the team cons, otherwise it's just best to let the team set. I mean, we could talk about London now, because London kind of already decided what they're going to be playing. You can see that they put Birdring on the Widowmaker. Birdring's Widowmaker was highlighted, especially on Watchpoint Gibraltar, as one of the main reasons why London Spitfire did so well. Gesture is on the Orisa. Profit's going to be on the Junkrat. Nothing unusual here, right? The Junkrat gives you a lot of space control here on first point. King's Row, you can play around the hotel, it's all good. But we're going to see something a little bit unusual coming out of the Philadelphia Fusion, so let's take a look at that. So first things first, you probably noticed that everyone's favourite, at least my personal nemesis, Hanzo, is actually on the team. This is not unusual to see. What is slightly unusual to see is that you're seeing the Hanzo without a Zarya. Instead, we have these three tanks sort of being played here. These are very meaty tanks running forward. What's also very interesting, I think, is EQO is actually playing on the Roadhog, so he's picked up the tank role there for now, and Poco playing on that Diva. Generally, you will see the Hanzo Zarya combos, because that will give you a very easy win condition. We're going to see this later, so it's going to be important. We're going to circle back to it. But you'd get the Hanzo Zarya Graviton Surge. It used to be called the Dragon Surge combo, and it's basically one of these combos that is very, very difficult to beat. You can Transcendence through it, but even then, it's basically cancels out a lot of what the Transcendence does. You can generally actually still kill people through it, and you can get a huge amount of value off that. And especially if you force the support ults out first, it's pretty much a guaranteed win of a team fight. So what we're going to see the Philadelphia Fusion do is, well, they're just going to aggressively take position, right? They have these big tanky bruisers. They can basically play the Moira meatball style. They can just run straight in, and they don't really have to worry too much about what London are doing. London have set themselves up on the high ground. It's pretty standard positioning with the Orisa, and they can use this Hanzo, and I think this flank here is super clever. They use this Hanzo to flank around the back, and this is slightly on Birdring's shoulders. Like, Birdring should have been able to hear the Hanzo climbing up behind him. Doesn't do so. Carpe gets one, Poco then reinforces, gets a second, and that strong point on the high ground, the Orisa Junkrat, sort of I think it was Doa referred to it as the cactus comp, or no, I think it was Mitch later on in the night referred to it as the cactus comp, where you have like an Orisa and you have a Junkrat in one location. It's very, very difficult to dive that, but they just completely ignore that hard point, peel around, send Carpe in the back, get rid of that Widowmaker, get rid of Birdring as that threat, and it sets them up really, really strong. Now, one important thing did happen actually, right now. And hats off to you if you spotted it, because I was really confused by this, because later on I spotted, hey, wait, EQO is playing the Diva, and Poco is actually swapped on the Zarya. This is inefficient, and I'm going to, highlight it for a moment or two, because it is inefficient, right? You already had Poco playing the Diva. It should really be EQO swapping off onto the Zarya, and then they want the Zarya for Phase 2. Zarya in Phase 2, of course, is pretty strong still. Like, she's very, very useful there. It's very easy to get Graviton Surges out in this small area. We're going to talk about that, trust me. Those of you that followed this game will know how well the Graviton Surges went, shall we say. But basically, you have a lot of space control here. It's also easy to build up a lot of charge because it's very narrow, so there's a lot of sort of focused damage going through specific areas. When I coach a Zarya on my own channel, and that was just a whiff, by the way, by Profit. He just detonated it too early and just got stuck on the door. Neptuno survives, runs away, and we're going to see some big Earth Shatters actually coming out of this one. London still want to try and force this, still want to try and make something of it, but Philadelphia don't really give up on the fight. They actually start using resources, committing to it, because Poco's managed to get charged up, so they want to start just continuing on this brawl. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the Zarya. Zarya is very good when you can talk about these sort of corridors of damage. When there's damage going through a very focused area and the Zarya can stand in it, she can stand in that corridor of damage, take a huge amount of hurt, get a lot of charge. You can see Poco trying to angle for a Graviton Surge at the moment. Fraggy gets a beauty of an Earth Shatter, but then Gesture doesn't get caught by it, so you have one of those magical Overwatch moments. One of my favourite moments in Overwatch is when Reinhardt's miss each other with Earth Shatters. You get the counter shatter through. The follow-up just isn't there for the London Spitfire. They've already lost 1 or 2 people. Philadelphia Fusion managed to survive that little bit longer and can keep the momentum going. And Philadelphia must be feeling great right now because they only have 1 or 2 threats to really worry about, which is the Riptire predominantly, and if they can handle that, then fine. And they have that Dragon Surge combo. You can see Poco trying to set up for it now. So this is like amazingly strong for Philadelphia Fusion. They have both support ultimates, they have a lot of resources, but unfortunately, things don't really go to plan here, and I just want to highlight, maybe I'll show a replay of it later in slow-mo, or just cut in a replay of it in slow-mo, because apparently, like, Carpe just fired off the Dragon Strike, and then Poco tried to fire the Graviton Surge into it. What that meant is that Fury just had the defense matrix up, caught the Graviton Surge, and nothing really came of it. Now then, it still ends up working fine for Philadelphia Fusion, because Philadelphia Fusion aren't really playing like Philadelphia Fusion here, and it really does catch you off by a little bit of surprise, because Philadelphia are a team known for their aggressive style. They're known for this, like, reckless, super aggro dive. Instead, they actually played that fight very passively. They actually sort of bent back once they realized the Graviton Surge wasn't coming through. They sort of backed up a little bit, burned down the tanks of London very slowly, used Neptuno's ultimate just to survive that little bit longer, dragged the fight out, and then gave Carpe enough time to actually get the kills through. So very, very nicely done by these guys, just to be that little bit more patient. Use the high damage Zarya, the Zarya on high charge, use the tanks that they have, and then get some results. And now Poco's set himself up in a beauty of a position, goes for a long-range Graviton Surge, manages to hit it, and this is just a free win for Poco. Ladies and gentlemen, the lesson here, of course, is check your corners, something that people who play Counter-Strike should be more than familiar with, but it's always just worth, at least having someone just, you know, especially like a support or something, just have a bit of a peek around, have a bit of a nose around, spot stuff like that, no problem. As a result, well, kills come through, and Philadelphia managed to keep this payload rolling. No problem. Ultimate's still looking okay for London. Like, they still have Gesture's Riptire. That's going to be a huge factor in shutting down the triple tank comp. They have Birdring now trying to trade out with Carpe. They're swapping to a Zarya of their own just to have that little bit of extra strength. And it kind of makes me sad because Fury's been having such a good performance so far on the Diva, and now Poco has something less to worry about. You can see that Gesture and Fraggy are going to be playing. They're playing basically to try and psych each other out, and this is going to be an amazingly, well, strong play by Fraggy. Just throws the Fire Strike up there, knows where the Riptire's going, catches it, no problem. And now we're going to see Gesture with a mind-blowingly good play, gets the Earth Shatter down on the team that's trying to engage off the back of the Diva Bomb. So Diva Bomb gets launched in to try and start the engagement. Gesture turns around, Earth Shatters the team as they try and engage, then turns around, blocks the bomb. Still not enough. Unfortunately, Gesture does end up going down here, and damage still rolling out for Philadelphia Fusion. Carpe getting a shot onto Birdring means that this team is doing way more damage, and Carpe is playing an amazing game of Overwatch so far, has been performing solidly on the Hanzo, and on the Widowmaker, well, it's even easier for him because Widowmaker's bullets land where, you know, you aim them, so that helps. I find that helps. That's why I like Widow a lot more than I like Hanzo. And the Philadelphia Fusion just keep on rolling. They're even committing ultimates, support ultimates to this to make sure that the fight carries on going. Instantly snipes out Birdring, puts damage where it needs, catches Prophet's Riptire. Everything going the way of Philadelphia Fusion, and it's no surprise to see them park the payload in. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock. Amazing solid play out of Philadelphia Fusion. And what impressed me more than anything on this one, ladies and gents, is that they changed their play style. Right, we're used to seeing Philadelphia Fusion play Genji Tracer and just try and dive everything to death, or maybe like Widow Tracer, or, you know, just something else out there. It's something new. It's something new. It's something different out of these guys, right? And that's important because they're a bit one note otherwise. They're a little bit, you know, one-dimensional. Now, we do have a couple of comms from the Philadelphia Fusion, so we can listen in on those, try and understand what's going on.
Again. I'm flanking.
Diva hold, man.
Diva
low.
Rest is.
It's okay, Diva no shit.
Rest. I got one.
Diva low.
Under there.
And he's dead. Nice.
Diva one.
Rest. Watch out.
Maybe.
Lisa low. Tokai one. Upper. Yanker. Easy.
So the thing with these comms is that, like, they're a little bit hard to understand because Philadelphia Fusion is a very multinational team, right? I mean, we've been playing you guys a lot of comms in these Pro OverAnalyzed lately, so is trying to sort of listen out and listen to the chaos and listen through. The important thing about their communication is it's just feeding bits of information. Everything being said is pertinent. It isn't like Carpe, so Carpe announces, oh, I'm going to go flank, and then he goes and gets himself a kill. He doesn't go, yeah, guys, I'm going around the back, I'm sneaking around, guys, and he doesn't like spend ages explaining what he's doing. He's just, no, I'm going on a flank, I got one, okay, and then it's like, they're just calling out, okay, so-and-so's dead, this is happening, we're in this position. It's all useful, factual information, delivered calmly, delivered professionally, and it sounds good, it sounds clean. It's not like the super excited, oh my god, nice, yeah, monkey, 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 like the normal chaos that you hear in these comms. It's crisp, clean, and professional, and the only sort of unprofessional quote-unquote comm afterwards, after the fight is done, after they're taking the point, is easy. And that just builds confidence in the team, it just makes people smile, makes people laugh a little bit, and keeps that sort of high spirit going, which is important in the psychology of the game. Now then, as the gates open for Philadelphia's defense, we're going to see London rolling out with something a little bit different. Profit on the tourbillon. No, I'm going to actually accelerate the pause. This is why you don't pause it before the gates are already open. There we go. Now we have a team. Okay, so then, London going to be playing this high aggro rush down style. What do I mean with rush down? I mean this is a tanky team that's just going to look to pick a fight with just about anything it can reach. You have the Lucio for speed boost, the Moira sort of meatball style for a huge amount of AoE healing. And then in terms of actual damage output, well, Fury can mince people up at close range, and Bertrand can devastate using the Junkrat. Now then, on the defense to try and stop this, well, there's actually a couple of good picks here, but the one issue is that Carpe is going to be starting out on that Widowmaker. And while he has been playing an amazingly good series on that Widow so far, he's not really going to be given an opportunity to use it. If you look at how London move, they just engage pretty much straight away and just burn Fraggy down instantaneously. Damage manages to come through, catches Neptuno on the back, and now suddenly, oh no, Philadelphia are just like boxed in. They don't have the Lucio either, so they can't reposition sort of this big clunky team very easily, and you see that they just instantly give up a lot of space. Carpe tries to get in a cheeky snipe or two, but with the spam coming through from Bertrand, and with Fury chasing him out of that hole, he can't really do anything, and now with the Junkrat there as well, there's just no chance for Philadelphia Fusion to retake it. That was the LAN record, ladies and gentlemen, for fastest first point Kings Row, 29 seconds. It's very difficult to do it faster, I imagine. It's a crazy push, but honestly, it's just a number of things going very well for London Spitfire and Philadelphia Fusion deciding we're not really going to try and make a fight of this one, we're just going to let them take first, and then we're going to try and play from second. And you can see, again, the Reinhardt mind game, but Gesture is just in the zone, just bypasses Fraggy, and then just gets that Earth Shatter through, sets his team up for a beautiful start to this map, and this was really, really needed, because we haven't talked about sort of the scene setting, I suppose, of this match, which is that London Spitfire just lost 2 games on the trot, right? This is meant to be Philadelphia Fusion's best map, and losing like all points on Kings Row, it's not that unusual, but it's still sort of a little bit, oh my god, we could actually lose this here, we could actually be losing this series, we could be losing our Stage 2 playoffs, right? This is a nightmare situation. So having this very, very strong start is huge for London Spitfire. Gives them a huge advantage, makes them feel very, very solid at this point, and they're just going to keep that momentum rolling, just keep playing aggressively, keep pushing it forward. Bertrand zoning people out with the Riptide, doesn't even look that hungry to try and find a kill, manages to get the Zarya, however. Poker's been having a nightmare on this defense. And this is one of those issues with the Zarya, is that if the ball doesn't get rolling, then it's all going to go wrong. We also saw Carpe go on a flank there, and the flank in Widowmaker, it can be great. It can be amazing. Used Infrasight, managed to find Bertrand, killed Bertrand as he used the Riptire. Kind of whatever, because the Riptire's still in the fight, right? It's still effective, so you're not actually stopping Bertrand doing his job by killing him there. And then it's like, well, who else do you snipe? You're trying to snipe Moira, you're trying to snipe Lucio. These are hard targets to hit, hard targets to get rid of, so that flanking Widowmaker not really going to have the value. You can see Profit sets up fires in the safest of Graviton Surges that you can possibly imagine. Isolates Fraggy, they set up the kill on Fraggy. This means that Gesture's actually in really good position, would have had an Earth Shatter, but gets killed. Very good job by Philadelphia Fusion to slow this one down. But this is London Spitfire, ladies and gentlemen, and if anything typifies London Spitfire's playstyle, it's that they don't stop. They don't stop fighting. If they think that there's a chance of them winning a fight, they will keep the fight going. And especially with Profit on this much charge, they don't actually want to sort of back up too much. You see Gesture's managed to come back, and instantly London Spitfire are going to start fighting again. You can see Fraggy and Gesture going through the sort of the mind games, the Reinhardt battle, the Reinhardt duet, the ballet between these two big burly German men as they try and find position. But luckily Philadelphia Fusion, they still have a couple of ultimates in the back pocket. They can use those, put those to work, keep the team alive, and now this is Fraggy playing Fraggy style, right? Like, he's just going to go aggressive. If there is an opening, he's going to take it, and they start collecting a couple of kills. Now then, Philadelphia Fusion must be feeling good. Actually, I think I called out the boombox using out there. I didn't. That was just the size of Poco's laser. Sorry, I got confused there. I was wondering, like, how did boombox build that up that quickly? Anyway. Philadelphia Fusion still feeling pretty good. The one silver lining here for London Spitfire is that they didn't use resources. There's the ultimate out of boombox. And you can see that London Spitfire is just going to take the time, just back up. They don't have to force anything. They don't have to do anything. Just going to go looking for something with a Riptire. See if they can get it. The longer this goes, the harder it is. You can even see that Fury used his defense matrix to protect that, because if he didn't, Carpe would probably snipe it down, right? Carpe would probably shut that one down. So good coordination out of London Spitfire. Fury and Birdring working together to get some results. Profits managed to build up another grab, spots out both supports, easy as you like. And now with these supports gone, it's a piece of cake, ladies and gentlemen, for London Spitfire to finish this one off now. They did lose Nuss in the process, but they still have enough tanks on the point that Carpe isn't enough, Carpe isn't enough of a threat. You can see that Gesture and Fraggy still keeping tabs on each other, Payload rolls forward, Philadelphia don't even touch, and there you have it. London Spitfire managed to complete the map with a little bit more time in the time bank. Now then, ladies and gents, if you cast your minds back to the start of the game, Philadelphia Fusion's first attack, they used that Hanzo flank to break the London hardpoint and basically managed to catch one or two people before they were prepared and unawares, basically got behind Widowmaker, put a scatter arrow right up that big arse of hers, and then shut down the Zenyatta immediately afterwards. It was very, very good, clever play. The issue with it is that it is somewhat one-dimensional, right? You're not going to get that flank twice in a single map. So now Philadelphia Fusion need to change up what they are going to do. They have to sort of figure out how they're going to arrange themselves to make this one work. Now, what they can do, and what I believe they go for, is the Zarya-Hanzo combo. The Zarya-Hanzo combo is often played when you do have something about 2 minutes 30-ish, because Zarya generally takes like a minute and a half to build up an ultimate unless she gets a huge amount of charge and generates it really quickly. It's one of the slower building ultimates, so it takes some time. But that Zarya-Hanzo combo will give you a almost guaranteed win condition, assuming that the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Strike both land and the enemy team doesn't have a strong enough defensive ultimate. And it's looking actually okay for Philadelphia Fusion in terms of team comps at the moment, because London only have Coalescence and Sound Barrier to try and defend against this. Now, it's a really rough start for them. Fraggy just gets blown up pretty much instantly. You can tell that London aren't going to let Philadelphia Fusion just take all the space they want this time. They're going to hold much closer to the statue, use the Reinhardt to take more space, play more aggressively with Birdring, and just try and set themselves in positions where they can't just get picked off from behind by the Hanzo this time. So they're playing a lot more clever, a lot more cunning, a lot more aggressive in terms of dealing with what Philadelphia Fusion want to achieve. This still doesn't solve the issue, however, that they're going to need to deal with this Dragon Surge combo, basically. Philadelphia Fusion going to try and play aggressively. Boombox activates the ultimate, but it gets shut down by Birdring, he's checked into the hotel at the moment. He's in the Aldersworth, ladies and gentlemen, and he's just raining death through the doorway, hoping to get a couple of quick picks, and that's what ends up happening. Gesture also dropping an Earth Shatter at some point in there, but really doesn't amount to much, unfortunately, at this time. Now then, this push, London must be feeling great for this push, because they have that Riptire available to them. This is a very strong point for these Riptires. You can see that Birdring isn't even really looking to get, kills. He could have got several kills during that, but he's just zoning the enemy team back more than anything, claiming a ton of space for his team, letting his team deal damage while Philadelphia Fusion are scrambling for safety, and now it's looking pretty good for London, especially as now they can go and clean this one up. Neptuno goes for the Sound Barrier, and with pinpoint timing, or with, shall we say, realistically, some misfortune on his part, Gesture connects with him, plants him in a wall before he can break it down, and, well, Neptuno's now painting some of the streets of King's Row. But it's still okay for Philadelphia Fusion. It's fine for Philadelphia Fusion. The combo is ready. All pressure on the Graviton Surge. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the idea of forcing a play, because the victory condition is right there and waiting for them, and Poco just lobs a Graviton Surge, the win condition, right down the throat of Fury, and as a result, it amounts to absolutely nothing. This is textbook play forcing, right? This is playoffs, this is, you could win the entire thing right here with a good play, and Poco, for some reason, just doesn't seem to, just makes a mistake. It is a mistake at the end of the day, this happens, but it is such an unfortunate moment, because he just, rush of blood to the head, presses Q, Fury's just there, holds right mouse button, and there goes the Graviton Surge. With no Graviton Surge, then the Dragon Strike is wasted. This Hanzo's been so low value because there's no flanks to go on, so the Hanzo's kind of been completely inconsequential. Birdring picks himself up a juicy triple kill at the end of the day, and now, well, it's just a simple matter for London Spitfire to clean up the point, no problem, and win well, not win, but just hold Kings Row for now, and set themselves up with an easy victory condition. They only have to get a single third on Kings Row within 3 minutes 49. That's even easier than Kings Row normally is. You get 4 minutes to take the entire thing, they need 3 minutes 49 to take 1/3. Now, you might say that, oh, this is disheartening, or this was just unluckers, basically, to the Philadelphia Fusion, but it really wasn't in my mind. Poco just tried to force the play, and if there's one lesson you can take away from this, it's that if you do have that game-winning play, don't try and force it, don't try and like disregard what your enemy is trying to do, what your enemy is doing. If you have that Graviton Surge, you have to respect divas. And the same is true that if you have the Dragon Blade or you have a Nano Boost, you've got to respect Transcendences and stuff like this. You just have to go through those simple motions of either trying to force out the defense matrix as much as possible, create some space, getting closer. For example, Poco threw that grab quite a long distance, for example. There's just a number of things that could have gone a little bit better for them. Now then, London Spitfire are going to just do pretty much what they did before. Like, it worked before and it's likely to work again. Philadelphia Fusion haven't changed up any of their strategy either. They're using that same defensive lineup, still using Carpe on the Widowmaker, and they're going to have Fraggy go up against Gesture in that one-on-one. You see the Reinhardts just smashing into each other. You do see that Fraggy's actually holding his ground a lot more. This is just because they cannot afford to lose any pressure on the point for any length of time. So London know this. They can sort of force Fraggy out into the open more and more. You can see that Gesture's just trying to farm up his ultimate, while Birdring now is starting to spam around the back. He's uncontested as well, at least at the moment, as he's trying to just get on that support line. The thing is, Carpe is a really good player, right? Carpe is an amazingly good player, so that's just holy moly, like, I can't believe he landed that shot. It's a thing of beauty. But still, London gonna just keep the pressure mounting, and any kills they get at the moment is just favouring them. They have the closer respawns, we call it the spawn distance ratios, and that is favouring London at the moment. London aren't the type to give up a fight either, so while sure they lost profit, it doesn't matter. They're just going to keep this pressure mounting, just try and whittle people down, and now that Birdring is back and the Riptire is back, they can zone people off the point, and this is a big deal because now, well, they've got to get on the point, and that means they're running into the London Spitfire, who are ready and waiting for them. Sure, Fraggy manages to get a beauty of an Earth Shadow, but doesn't just quite catching up. The anti-tank and the damage output from London is still there. It's still just cleaning and finishing off targets, and as a result, London take Kings Row. Now, this was a phenomenal series. Like, this was probably one of the best series of Overwatch I have seen in a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I heartily recommend you go out and watch the Philadelphia Fusion go and face the London Spitfire. Go watch the final game. I won't spoil, well, okay, I probably will spoil it for you at some point, but hey, it's just an amazingly good series, and Philadelphia Fusion, just, you know, with a decent stage 1 performance in stage 2 were really exciting to watch. They've quickly become one of my favourite teams. They have some of my favourite players on there as well. I know Boombox personally, he's a really good bloke. I also know the coach for the Philadelphia Fusion, Hayes, and I imagine he's over the moon and happy with how his team performed in these stage 2 playoffs. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, we will also be taking a look at the finals as well. Can't wait to see you over there. And if you want to watch me review the entire series, there should be a VOD on my Twitch channel and probably going to be on my YouTube channel as well, as I tend to just transfer those over. So we're going to be taking a look at London Spitfire versus Philadelphia on my channel in full glorious detail, and probably also the day after we're going to look at the full series between NYXL and Philadelphia Fusion. See, I told you I'd spoil it. Right guys, thanks for watching to the end. I've been Josh, as one voice amongst many, and I'll see you guys next time. Toodles.